Okay. Shalom. Good morning. Big Yomi filling in for Miller. Okay, we are getting back to Hilchos Yom Tov. We are in Tov Tariches Sif Cotton Tez Zayin. Hichnis Afar Harbe Leveso, someone who we're talking about here about Kisei Adam, someone who before Yom Tov brought a bunch of dirt into his house, the Tzarech Ginasai, for his to use for his garden. And he put it in the corner of his house. Now it used to be that the houses had dirt floors, so putting a little bit of extra, dirt on the side wasn't crazy. I mean, nowadays, I don't know if your wife would let you bring a whole bunch of dirt into your house or into whatever, even if it's in the corner. Motor lahasa. Now here's how for this case, and I'm sure it means also, let's say it's outside. Motor lahasa, you're allowed to use it, even though you had in mind to go ahead and use it for planting or for your garden or whatever. You can use it for kisui adam shekol zman shut savur, as long as it's still in a one pile. Daito olav l'chol mashit starich. They used to use dirt for different tzrachim, for drying things out, covering different things. They used to use it. So, and it's really, even though he wanted it for his garden, but he can use it for anything. Like hichnis below kupa, the tzarech also, if he brought like a pail of dirt in, no. She'achar shehumuat batel, since it's just a little bit, so it becomes batel to the gina, batel to the floor, and therefore it would be also to use, so that it's not just for everything. Because he brought a little bit in, so that's just for that purpose. And again, point out, we're talking about afar tichuach, because soft earth, because otherwise you have a problem with binyan, even by something talosh, even by dirt which was talosh. Anytime you have to go ahead and you have to make a hole and the hole stays, that's aser because of binyan or choresh, whatever, either one. So therefore, in order to use any dirt, it has to be that it's already soft, very fine, dug up already. Machnis adam local pasa offer labayis. However, if a person takes a bucket full of dirt into his house, the stam, also called tzarcho, you bring it in and you use it for many different things. You can use it for anything. We don't say, like before we said by the gina, it's bottle to the gina, but here we're talking about that if it's in the house, we don't say it's bottle to the house, it's only, therefore it's part of the floor of the house. But that's as long as you put it in a specific, corner. Okay, this is my dirt corner. And since he didn't spread it out over the floor of the house, you see, you want to use it for other things, kisui adam, covering up, there's something spilled on the floor, so instead of, sweeping it up, wiping it up, they would just throw some more dirt on top, and it would disappear. So things like that. And again, if it's offer, if it's offer tichuach, you can use it to do kisui adam, because then there's no issue of, even if it's in a kli, but when you shear, they say that we'll see in a minute about the kira, whatever, if it doesn't leave a hole. If you take some dirt out, a hole doesn't stay. It just immediately the other dirt falls in to cover what's there. So that wouldn't be, that's okay.
But if it's in the kli itself, then you don't have any problem, right?
Well, no. If it's a hard packed earth in the kli, yeah, that's fine.
There's no problem.
Right, there's no problem. That's fine. Okay, Yudches koi, or for different yeshivas say kvi. I don't know if we know the real way of saying it. Pirush beria shenolda mitayesh utzvi. Now, koi is it comes up just like there's androgynous by people, and there's different halachas. So koi by animals is a suffix chaya, suffix behema, which is a suffix whether you can do kisui adam, you're chai to kisui adam in it or not. So the Ramah brings one period, which is beria shenolda mitayesh utzvi, that it's a kilayim between a chaya and a behema. There are other pirushim Rabbi Yossi and even Tanaim, whoever say that it's a different min b'chlal. We just don't know if it's a chaya or a behema. And there's either it's something which is be'etzem a suffix, like either because it came from two sides, we don't know if it goes after the mother or the father, or we say we ourselves have no idea. Even some svarim to say like maybe it's like this, maybe it's like a wildebeest, or like they're trying to say what it is exactly. It's unclear. Simanim of both, it's unclear. So therefore, it's a suffix. But whether you're chayiv to cover the kisi adam, so during the week, it's a big deal. You'll make a bracha, you do kisi adam. But on Yom Tov, you have a problem. So ain't sheichli yourself Yom Tov. So you're not allowed to shech the koi on Yom Tov. But if you did do shchita, it's also to bechasin to cover the blood. Even if he has offer muchan, because listen, during the week you say, okay, maybe whatever, well, he's covering up, it's dirty, whatever it is. But if on Yom Tov, the only reason you're going to do it, the reason it's mutter to do it is because it's chayv kisi adam. So if people are going to take out of this a din and near a day, that it's a chaya, and you always have to go ahead and you can make a bracha, so you don't have to cover it b'chal. In lokein lo hayav atrichin lachasas dama b'yamtiv. Otherwise they wouldn't have covered it on Yom Tov. Yavol lahatir chelbo, and then they're going to go ahead and it's a chaya. It's chel is mutter, and they're going to eat it in chal shom b'chayv kari. So erev. So therefore, if you did it, you're not allowed to bechas it. But if you could still see the stain of blood in the ground, then you could still makayim the mitzvah of kisui adam b'diavad, and you should cover it over that. If you can still see where the dam was. That's only if you shachted it somewhere on the side. But if you did it right in the middle of the chutzner, even if you shechted a cow over there, that even a cow which you don't have to cover, then you're allowed to go ahead and you're allowed to cover even if it has afar muchan to have it like a graf shari. Right? When an animal gets shechted, a lot of blood comes out. So it's not like you have a few drops. You have a big pool of blood over there. So you're allowed to cover it with that dirt. Not only because it's chayiv in kisui adam. No, also because person wants to be able to walk out, and there's the kids are going to go out and they want to slip in the blood, and it's not so geshmak. So therefore you're allowed to cover it. So therefore even by koi, people are going to take from that. It's a varei chaya. Shachat behema v'chaya. Someone who shechta behema and a chaya v'nisariv damam v'yesh lo afar muchan or efer kira. Someone who shechted the animal, right, and the blood mixed together, and he has afar muchan or efer kira, like we said before. If he can go ahead and he has a shovel sticking in, and he can just take, it's enough to cover with one shovel he pulls out one shovel worth and put it on, it's enough to cover it. Because it wasn't muchan for the dam behema. So therefore, if it's enough to go ahead and to do one shovel, so then that's fine. If not, just like by koi, you can't do it because it's tircha b'shvil behema that it's tircha b'shvil behema. So therefore, it's also to do.
What's the shaila? The din is you don't have to cover all the dam. You should be good enough with just one. No. Now. A question. I don't know the share of how much actually has to be covered. To say honestly, but no one seems to bring that up. It's. All right.
Yeah. I don't want to. The chor you cover. The pashas you're covering most of it. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know what the share. I don't know what the share of kisui adam is. It's also to go ahead and to metarech extra on Yom Tov. Therefore, only what you could take out with one scoop that Chachamim allowed. Shachat sipur be'erev Yom Tov. Someone who shechted a bird on erev Yom Tov. V'lo chisa damo. And if you have time, if you have to cover the blood, lo yichasena b'Yom Tov. it's also to go ahead and to cover it on Yom Tov, because it's tircha that he should have done and they have Yom Tov, and it's Monea for Simchas Yom Tov. Part of the thing of having not doing extra tircha is if you start being Tarech, you can start doing a lot of tircha, then it's going to ruin your Simchas Yom Tov. You're going to be sitting there, preparing the whole Yom Tov. So therefore, that's what Chacham said, that you could Tarech exactly what you need and nothing more. Tav Tzadi Tes. Okay. This is Malicha on Yom Tov. Ein Margilim be Yom Tov. What's Ketu Hu Margil? What does Margil mean? Zeh HaMotzi Kol HaBasa B'Regel Echad Yeshiyotzi Kol HaOrshon Lo Yikareh. What they used to do is they would cut on the hema, on the cow, whatever, they would cut the legs open, and from there they would start pulling the hide off. They would be able to, so they can pull it off a hole, so they would start at the back legs, and they would be able to skin the animal whole. So this is also it's called or shali lo yikareya. It's not very easy. And you don't need the only reason you do it is because you want to have a whole cowhide, for really, and you want big leather, whatever it is. So that's why you would do it. So it's worth the tircha. But on Yom Tov we say that because you don't need, you're not going to use the hide on Yom Tov, so therefore you can't do extra tircha.
Tzorach HaMoed here means Tzorach Yom Tov, or even Kol Moed?
No, it means Tzorach Yom Tov. Doesn't mean Tzorach. No, it means Tzorach Yom Tov. Also, limloig gedi. Maliga was what they used to put in hot water to go ahead and to be able to get the skin off or to get the hair off, things like that. Also, limloig gedi. Elinkein molgo le'echol ha'or. Right? Unless the reason why you're taking the hairs off is because you're going to eat the or. I'm going to point out that by gedi the skin is soft, so some people will eat it. So therefore, it's called tzorach achol nefesh. But the tzorach the or, you want to have a nice, nice and clean for whatever reason. That's also only if you're going to actually eat it, not to, so you'll have it nice. It's just maybe because people do. It's easier to take the hair off first when it's whole before taking the hide off. That you can't do. Behema shenishchata b'Yom Tov, a behema which was shechted on Yom Tov, mutar lahagbiya ora v'litna b'makom dvisas v'reglayim. You're allowed to carry it after you take off the hide. You're allowed to carry it to a place that people walk, where it can get stepped on. That'll start helping to preserve it. Even if there's no basar, you're still allowed to do that on Yom Tov. And you can go ahead and put basar on top and salt meat on top of the leather, and like you do for tzlika, also it's a way to preserve it a little bit. And you can do salt this piece of meat here, this piece that covers the whole hide. Well, also, the reason they matter this is because even though it's a little bit of evil, but since we're choshesh, a person doesn't want to have some meruba, not to be able to use the hide of the cow for shoes and whatever it is, so therefore he won't come to go ahead and so I won't have meat on Yom Tov. What's the big deal? It's not worth it. So the Chachamim didn't want people to start making cheshbonos. You can go ahead and do a little bit, so he doesn't nifsad. The leather is not nifsad, so they can do different haramos. So it's not nifsad, in order that that people will have incentive to shecht. Every Yom Tov also, because there's no reason, because then the hide you could have done something with it before. Notice feathers are the same thing as by leather. You'll be allowed to go ahead and take the feathers because you're going to need it for your pillow, and you're not going to shech the animal because I need it for the pillow. So therefore, you're allowed to go ahead and put them in a bag on the side somewhere to save for later.
That's the way you were brought up in That's the way you were brought up in